Hi guys! Okay, so this video is going to be on getting your baby to sleep through the night, or at least trying to get a good night's sleep. These are the top 5 things that I've figured out and done research on and finally got combined to figure out some type of things that get Noah to sleep all night. He usually goes down around between 7:30 at night to 9:30 at night, and 9:30 is usually the latest. Some nights we have bad nights and he's sick or he's really, really overtired, and between 10:30 is usually like the absolute latest I can get him to go down. He usually sleeps through the night, and that consists of waking up anywhere between 6:45 to like 8 at the latest. Okay, so number 1 is you need to eliminate the day and night confusion of sleeping. Usually everyone says never wake a sleeping baby. When you have a newborn, there is one exception to this rule. If one of your baby's daytime naps last longer than 3 hours, especially if they're very new, it's probably time to wake and feed them. A typical newborn needs everywhere between, I think it's 2 to 3 hours if you're breastfeeding, and 2 to 4 if you're formula feeding. Feedings around the clock. By 6 weeks, they usually will sleep for around 4 to 6 hours, a long stretch, in a 24-hour period, which obviously you want to happen at night. These are some things to help with that. Develop a bedtime routine as soon as possible. From the night you get home from the hospital, you can automatically start trying to do some type of bedtime routine to help your child get sleepy. An easy routine consists of dinner, bath, pajamas, and story time or cuddle time, whatever you prefer to do with your baby before you try to get them down. With Noah, his number one thing is his bath. This is probably the best thing for him. When you're bathing your baby, if you're doing a warm bath or if you're just wiping them down with a warm washcloth, your baby's going to be warm in the bath. The second that you remove the child from the water, there's a slight cooling of your body temperature, and especially when you're drying them off. And the cooling of the body temperature is going to help your baby get sleepy. I use the Johnson & Johnson lavender, I think it's called Sleepy Time or Baby Time Bedtime Wash. This is really nice. Has like a very soft, calming smell to it, and that's one thing that really helps Noah sleep. Another thing is the 5 S's of sleep, which are swaddling, stomach or side positioning in yours or whoever is getting the baby to sleep's arms. That's one thing that always helps. Noah loves to be on his belly before he goes to sleep, so I hold him with his stomach down on my arms and I rock him, and that really helps. Shushing, we all know what the shushing is. When babies cry, we shush. It has to be as loud as a vacuum cleaner because that's what puts Noah to sleep. I don't know if that works for everyone, if they prefer louder or softer, but that's what works for him. Swinging, even if you're going to put them in a swing or if you're going to rock them, that swinging motion is going to help your baby get sleepy. And when all else fails, sucking. Try a pacifier, or if your baby can self-soothe, try to offer them their hand. Just kind of like brush their hand against their lips. I do that with Noah, and he instantly sucks his thumb, which 97% of the time will help him go to sleep. Make sure your baby is well rested. I know everyone thinks that if you skip naps or if you keep your baby up longer in the daytime, they're going to sleep better at night. That's not true. Keeping them up is not going to result in a better night's sleep. When your baby wakes up screaming between 45 minutes to an hour after falling asleep during the night or earlier in the morning, or wakes from their nap screaming, it means they're overtired. It might take several nights of early bedtime routines before the screaming upon waking stops. So make sure they're well rested before they go down. Keeping your baby up is going to make it so much harder at night to get them to fall asleep because they're overtired, and at this point they don't know what to do with themselves, so therefore they can't calm down. And get your baby on a feeding schedule. A regular feeding schedule is going to help your baby learn that when they're hungry, it's their next meal. The more she will eat, the more he or she eats during a feeding, they're going to satisfy their hunger longer, and they're going to know when it's time to eat. Therefore, it's going to help them sleep in longer stretches of night without waking up to feed. Make it easy. This means when your baby wakes up, this is for the daytime usually, and EASY stands for Eat, Activity, Sleep, and You. And I got that offline, so you guys can go and research that because this really works. When your baby wakes up, it's usually time to eat. Then next is a diaper change or an activity, tummy time, or if you're going to do a play mat, or if you're going to talk to the baby, some type of activity, which is going to help them once again wear down. For Noah, if you have between like a newborn up to 3 months, your baby needs to be going back down for a nap at least every 2 hours. After 2 hours of being awake, they're going to get overtired. So eat, activity, then your baby's going to fall back to sleep, and then use some you time. That's the beauty of it. When your baby's sleeping, take advantage of that. Clean the house, take a nap, take a shower. We all know that how hard it is to get in the shower when you have a baby. And don't feel pressured, especially with co-sleeping. Co-sleeping can be so beneficial to getting your baby to sleep, but it doesn't work for everyone. A lot of parents are against it. When you go to the hospital, it says, if I'm sleepy, put me in my crib. That doesn't work for everyone. Co-sleeping can be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Some parents sleep better knowing that their baby is next to them. That's how I was. I would get so nervous when Noah would go in his crib or when I would put him down in his bassinet because I was afraid something was going to happen. And when he was next to me, I always felt that I slept better and I could feel more relaxed because I knew he was right next to me. For me, I'm a super, super light sleeper. There could be like a bug crawling on the wall and I would wake up. And I sleep on my stomach, so I'm not going to roll. Co-sleeping was what really helped me. It's not for everyone. It's my personal opinion. If someone is trying to insist on co-sleeping, like if it's just something you're trying to force but you're not comfortable with it, then don't do it because it's going to become an unhealthy way of sleeping and you're just going to be stressed. If it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Don't just force yourself because you think it's going to work, because if it's not comfortable with you, then it's not going to work. You need to follow your instincts and you know what's best for your baby. Listen to what you feel is best. This is for older kids. I don't have an older baby, but I have brothers and sisters, and this is always one thing that I've realized. Don't use sleep as a punishment, because it's not. It's a treat. Your baby is going to sleep better when they know that sleeping is a good thing. Reassure them that when they're laying down and they're taking their naps, that this is a good thing and it's not a punishment. Don't use the sayings that most of our parents used when we were kids. If you don't stop whining, you're going in your room for a nap, because it just makes kids not want to go to sleep because they feel like they're being punished. Ignore the guilt and the hostility. This goes for the cry it out method. And if this offends someone, I'm sorry. This is just my personal opinion. The videos on what helps Noah and what my opinions on are getting your baby to sleep. So don't take this to heart if you do use this. This is just my personal opinion. The cry it out method or controlled crying method. Methods to help your baby sleep are personal decisions that parents need to make without added stress or guilt. Science doesn't back up the claim that crying alone is harmful to babies, despite what some insist. It's unlikely our souls mean for communications for baby to be in their crib by themselves. For me, it doesn't work for me. I can't leave him in the crib crying because I know that if it was me, I wouldn't want to be in my bed crying myself to sleep in the dark and have no one there, especially when you're a baby. When babies are born, they have just coming out of a 98-degree womb for 9 months, and it's all smushed in there, and they're warm and they're cozy and it's dark. So when they're born, it's a big, cold, scary place, and they don't want to be alone when they're trying to fall asleep. It's a scary thing, especially when your baby's a newborn. That was the biggest thing. When your baby cries, there's probably something wrong. Don't just let your baby, there's a difference between putting your baby in a crib for 5 minutes and letting them cry until they fall asleep. Don't leave your baby in the crib for 2 hours until they cry themselves to sleep, because it's going to become an unhealthy habit of them learning to cry themselves to sleep instead of just learning that sleep is a calming situation and that it's a nice thing to fall asleep, especially when they know that their parents are there. Reassure your baby that when they're going to sleep, it doesn't mean that you're going away forever. Reassure them that when they're going to sleep, you're only a few steps away. That is what helps Noah all the time. And let me see what else. Use your instincts, really, because you know what's best for your baby, and no one can tell you this is going to work, this is going to help your baby, this is going to put your baby to sleep all night, because it's not. This is just personal opinions. some things to try. That's the thing. You're never going to know unless you try. If you give everything a chance, eventually you're going to find something that works for your baby. So these are the top 5 things that I use to get Noah to sleep all night, and I hope they help, guys.